adrenaline fueled, fast and techy. The FEI Driving World Cup is back. 4 horses, 1 driver take on the biggest challenges with the help of their navigators and paddock staffers. The goal to reach the 5-point border. The sport of driving doesn't get bigger than this.
Allez, vous vous installez à vos places pour vivre l'épreuve d'ouverture de la FEI Driving World Cup de demain. L'épreuve présentée par l'Institut international de Nancy. 6 meneurs qui vont défiler devant vous dans cette parade.
Et tout de suite, il entre par le grand rideau, le premier meneur de cette FEI Driving World Cup que présente l'Institut international de Nancy. C'est sa première participation ici à Palexpo. Il représente la France avec laquelle il était médaille de bronze par équipe au championnat d'Europe 2019. Anthony Horde.
So now the presentation of the drivers competing today in the pre-World Cup qualifier and tomorrow in the World Cup qualifier. 6 drivers. The first, Anthony Horde for France.
On continue sans transition avec le deuxième attelage qui entre maintenant pour les couleurs de l'Allemagne avec 3 médailles d'argent par équipe au championnat du monde Jeux équestres mondiaux en 2012, en 2014 et en 2022. L'an passé à Pratoni, 4 médailles d'argent aussi dans le cadre des championnats d'Europe. Une médaille d'or par équipe en 2019. Une 3e place du côté de Cronenberg cette année. 2e dans l'étape de Coupe du Monde de Genève 2017, Georg von Stein.
For Germany, Georg von Stein, the second driver to present today.
Il représente les Pays-Bas. C'est le poule leader de la finale de Coupe du Monde puisqu'il était 2e en 2010 ici même. En 2019 et en 2020 à Bordeaux. Il a 6 médailles d'or par équipe au championnat du monde. Il a 6 médailles d'or par équipe au championnat d'Europe. Cosse de ronde.
Per l'Olanda, un driver che conduce nel suo curriculum 6 medaglie d'oro mondiali e 6 medaglie d'oro d'Europa a squadre. A driver who has 16 gold medals in the World Championship and in the European Championship. Costa Ronde for the Netherlands.
Et avec le dossard numéro 4, celui qui s'impose très régulièrement ici sur la scène de Palexpo pour les couleurs des Pays-Bas également. En argent par équipe aux Jeux équestres mondiaux à Troyen en 2018, en or par équipe par la suite l'an passé à Pratoni. Double vainqueur de la finale de la Coupe du Monde en 2019 et en 2022. 5 médailles d'or au championnat d'Europe. Le vainqueur de l'étape de Coupe du Monde de Stockholm, et c'est donc Bram Chardon.
And for the Netherlands, number 3 in the world, twice winner of the World Cup, 5 gold medals in the European Championship, 3 individual, 3 team, winner of the few days ago, the World Cup qualifier in Stockholm, and winner of the last 2 World Cup qualifiers here in Geneva. For the Netherlands, Bram Chardon.
Et celui qui vient de franchir le rideau, est-ce qu'on doit vraiment vous le présenter? Eh oui, vous avez reconnu votre chouchou Genève. Il était 2e de la finale Coupe du Monde 2017 et 2018, 4e de la finale Coupe du Monde à Bordeaux cette année. Pour la Suisse, Jérôme Vouta. Deuxième ici même en 2014, Jérôme.
Et puis on voit encore...
And welcome wherever in the world you may be watching, listening and tuning in. It is brilliant to have you with us this weekend. It's Geneva. We are in the stunning, stunning Pal Expo Arena, just next to Geneva Airport. It's not snowy outside. We left the snow in Stockholm from last weekend, and here in this beautiful arena, the 62nd edition of the Geneva show, CHA de Genève, and we are on leg 5 of 8. It has raced past this 2023-24 season. There we have the standings so far. Boyd Excel in front on 25, ranked number 1. Michael Brook, after great showing last weekend, he's in second place on 17. Bram Chardon in third on 14. Koos Durand, he's driving here. We will see Koos probably add some points on in fourth, number 12. And those are the rankings. Now remember, those rankings all go towards the final in Bordeaux. Here we have the lineup 6 forward. So 5 qualified drivers. So these are 5 drivers whose points will count towards that final place in Bordeaux in early February in France. The wild card, that is Anthony Orde from France. We saw him at the opening event in Lyon, and it's great to have Anthony here. But so the 6 drivers there, in the order they will be starting. Competition 1 is just about to get going, and intelligent course design from Johan Jacobs of the Netherlands. 2 marathon type obstacles this week. They are 5 and 10. And a wonderful overview there of the arena. The light displays, the music, the atmosphere here in Geneva is really extraordinary. It is a beautiful arena. Christmas has come to the FEI Driving World Cup. any second now, the competition one will get underway. So tonight here in Geneva, and the light show starts. 5 qualified drivers, 1 wild card. We will have 3 going forward to the drive-off, where it will start from 0 again. And if you are following the sequence of the gates in the obstacles, it will be the E gate that is dropped. You might remember quite a lot of the time it's the F gate that's dropped in competition 1. We do keep the same course for competition 2 drive-off. Got to keep up with the rules and the technicalities here. But we have 15 separate questions on this course. Obstacles 5 and 10. Johan Jacobs has spent a great deal of time thinking about the parameters of the arena. This is the biggest arena on the circuit, 95 meters by 55. In that we have a water, which our drivers will go through after cones 7 and 14. We have the hill, number 2, just got a shot there. Black cones, these actually were designed and thought through in Johan's garage. I've just been lucky enough to have a course walk with him, and he's explained the angle and the positioning of every single cone. And it is all designed to give a smooth drive. It's about balance. Of course we want speed. This is against the clock, but it has to be about accuracy. It has to be about those lines, not just through the obstacles, the marathon-style obstacles. It's through the speed box. It's through the oxes, where you've got the double pairs of cones. Each cone is very carefully positioned to ask a separate question, to get the driver to really go through the line, to think about it. Intelligent driving. It's not just a race against the clock. There's so much more to it.
FEI Driving World Cup,
And the lights come up, coming down the chute from the warm-up arena, the collecting ring, where these fantastic teams of 4 horses, they're so obedient, they're so well trained. They come in and they go in 6th gear, and then when they're out there, they know how to switch off. So welcoming in the first of our drivers in Geneva, leg 5, the FEI Driving World Cup. Anthony Orde, he is the wildcard driver for France, a guest here of the Swiss organisers. Age 46, that ranking takes into account his outdoor season. And he is driving a team that he's specifically put together for some of these indoor events, mainly Hungarian bred, 2 registered Lipizzaners, the other 2 are Hungarian bred, all sorts of different owners if ever you look at the biography. And we are off. So it starts on the right rein with this sweep round, but all those cones placed slightly on the angles. Number 3 is that oxy. You will get to know the course. Exactly what Johan wanted, cutting down through the obstacle. What he has done is cleverly to keep those gates open. You wouldn't want to drive through 5A in the wrong sequence, then you get an error of course unless you correct it, but he's kept it open to encourage the drivers to go down through. Already we are in the first of the obstacles. 1 ball down, just see that on the camera. A few options. This is probably the more sweeping obstacle with less choices than the second one, where further on in the course there are more options, but 4 to add. We'll see that coming up on the clock just in a minute. But do watch these split times as these early drivers exit the obstacles. That gives us quite a good marker for what comes up. The rounds do get faster as time goes on. Some of these combinations will be going over the course on 4 occasions. 2 qualifying rounds, then the drive off. And he's swept through that obstacle. Yeah, there's the 4 gone on. 78, 79, the clock is ticking. And again, intelligent course building. Those gates were kept open in the second marathon obstacle so the drivers could come down, get the lines that are as friendly to these horses as possible. This is probably one of the areas of the course where they can pick up a bit of impulsion before they drop into 10, but there's never more than a few meters between each of these questions. Anthony Orde at the moment for France here in Geneva in the Pal Expo Arena. Looping, changing, making sure those wheelers clear these different elements. They are all knockdownable. And that's when you incur them, making sure, obviously, white on the left, red on the right. In sequence, out through F in 139. Still only the 4 to add. Crowd, 10,000 capacity here in the arena. Number 13 towards the end of the course. Whoa, and that will definitely be another 4 to add. That whole number 13 speed box counts as one element, so you can knock down all the cones and still only incur 4. That's a technicality. And 15, that's him out in 172. So to add on that 8, 180.50. So it's 180.50. So it was 172 was the time, and there was 8 to add. Confirmation, our first driver, Anthony Older, it's his second World Cup driving round for the FEI, this 2023-24 series. We've had our first block of 3. We opened in Lyon in early November, then we went to Holland, to Maastricht, on to Stuttgart, had a break for a week, so Germany, that German event, hugely popular event with the horse public, one of the very first birthplaces of this tremendous sport. And talking of Germany, we have Jörg von Stein. He has come back as a qualified driver. He has been part of the series in the past, quite often been a wildcard guest taking part, but this season, after a really good showing on the outdoor circuits during the spring, summer and early autumn months, he qualified in the top 10, which meant that he was eligible to become one of our World Cup drivers. Some of these horses he uses on his outdoor team, some indoors, 1 or 2 new additions. And just picking up the line there, number 2 on the hill. Last night in this beautiful arena we had an indoor cross-country course, and actually they went out under the Geneva archway there as they did some of their jumps in the collecting ring, making the most of all the facilities here in the Palexpo Arena. Drivers, competition 1, opening qualifying round 3 will go through to the drive-off this evening. That F gate is really wide, and as they sweep up on the right rein from cone 4 to 5, out there in 7, just under 70, good time there, good time, nothing to add, cutting up. So they sweep in on the right rein and they can't dart left because you've got F there. It'd be lovely if you could go straight through there to B, but you can't. That F gate blocks off that wide central part of obstacle number 5. 8 already, just over the halfway point of the course. All's all on top at the moment for the German driver. Now, from 9 to 10, that is a fairly straightforward line dropping into A. And that top line along the long side, that it remains open. There is no gate across that, so they can use that to cut through, getting from the pairs of cones, or as a bit of a corridor, a passage, a free passage in the middle of the obstacle. So all the drivers will have had the course design, and that looks like that will, it was a nudge. That was a nudge, but if there wasn't a ball there, got 4 to add, looked like the ball might have slipped underneath. Letters can be dropped off. If elements or balls roll, then that's when the penalties are added. Those 4 penalties do get added on as seconds when the clock stops. Number 13, 14 is the second entry to the water. Snaking round on the left rein. 8 to add, so slightly up on time. So 0.96, not very much in it between the first two of our drivers. Both of them competing for the second time, confirmation there, 181.46, 181.46. So minus the 8, that was the time. So not a huge amount between them, but that pops him just behind Anthony Oldrick at the moment. The two back steps, the one on the upper step navigating, and ballast on the bottom. The additional task of the navigator on the back. And in this case, it is Marie de Ronde. Koos has got his wife on. When we saw him out last in Stuttgart, when it was so nearly his, bar for that slip in the water just towards the end. He was on winning form, on fire in Stuttgart. It was an arena that suited his rangy horses. He has good length of leg. He can really cover the ground with these horses. Koos de Ronde, one of the very best through marathon obstacles. Outdoors had a great European championship in Exlu earlier this year to finish individually in silver position behind his teammate Bram, who we will see very soon. But do watch this time. It will be good. Koos de Ronde, wife Marie, on the back there in Stuttgart. He had two of his children on there. Now, interestingly, he's chosen to go round to 4. Decision probably made. He has fast horses, as clean a line as possible. Wouldn't it be fascinating to hear all the team talk as they go round? The drivers walk with their two back steps, and they had about half an hour or so to analyse from the floor the arena. One of the great aspects from a course building point of view is the surface here in Geneva. It's one that gets compacted between the jumping rounds or whatever activities they've got. They go over it with the rollers. And what it does mean is you don't get quite the same grooves. Plenty of lines in the sand out there in a tremendous time. Gosh, that was just under 60. And cutting in up, but he can go through whichever gates he likes. All of them have been gone through in sequence. 4 to add so far for Koos de Ronde, but his time is very good. Down through that free corridor in number 10. 78 going into the water, 79 coming out. As we would expect, good on the clock. Koos, you would have put money on beforehand, being one of our drive-off competitors this weekend in Geneva. Oh, now that's a different line coming down in, too wide a loop there, but he has speed. He has the speed. It's a choice you make depending on your horses. Play to the advantages of them. Some will be better to the left, some to the right. And out in 128. Still 4 to add. 11, 12, 13 into the box. Remember, all these pairs count as one element. That's cleanly out for the Dutchman. And cheers from the crowd. They know they're watching one of the very best. 15. And the clock stops at 100. Wow, 16 seconds up. A green 16.34. What a time. 164.16. And you can hear the feet stamping, the fist pumping. That was a very popular round from Koos de Ronde. He was the world champion, the FEI Driving World Cup champion back in 2013. We seeing him next weekend in London. Only Bram has come on from Stockholm. We have all, except Bram, a new lineup for you this weekend. And how it's decided which drivers come forward, it depends on who is champion and on the rankings. So Boyd Excel, who is our existing champion from Bordeaux in February, as Bram comes in, he was the champion the year before that, 2022 in Leipzig, had a fantastic event last weekend in Stockholm. Long old drive there for them all from the Netherlands. Stopped off with Frederick Persson on the way. Frederick, we hope you're watching. Great to see you in Stockholm last weekend. Bram, for the third time, has stuck with the same horses. This is his third outing, second one that is qualifying for him. So points, Maastricht, he was a wild card. He and Boyd were the wild cards. And it was so nearly his, just had that slight error in one of the obstacles that meant he took an extra loop. So gained a bit of time, but was so focused, so impressive. These 4 grey Hungarian horses working really incredibly well as a unit last weekend. He would just pop them into his pace, they'd go into his hand, and he maintained his pace beautifully through all 4 of his rounds. And it was that consistency, those very, very good lines, that helped him win last weekend. And our winner here for the last 2 years in Geneva, and surely is the favourite to do it again on his current form. At the moment, it is about getting to the drive-off, and then those positions will dictate the running order for tomorrow. But now we are looking at one of driving's greats, Bram Chardon of the Netherlands. Nearly always has one of his sitters on the back, and this weekend it is Leanne who is navigating this incredible family of natural horsemen and women, champions not just in driving indoors and out, but in all the other ridden disciplines as well. Not only driving and riding, but training a lot of very successful carriage drivers as well. Now, a bit of parity on time there with Kuth. Through the Oxer, cutting back through. And another who's using that line down through number 10 to get to number 7, that water. Just clever positioning of them to just keep those lines on point. Number 8, balls all on top from Bram. He's been incredibly accurate in terms of getting his turn out cleanly through all the gates and obstacles. Twisting around now, that looks like a ball on the floor. Let's just see if we pick that up again. Nothing to add on the clock on the screens. So we'll wait for confirmation on that. Snaking out through F, 126, 127, very much up on the clock as we would expect. (13) at this box. You can have 2 designs of a speed box in the World Cup. You can have one where the centre pairs of cones, you have 3 pairs of cones more on a bit of a T, and this one it's like an open V, and the crowd are getting behind one of their favourites. He has been so consistent in Geneva over the years, and look at that time. That is why he is so hard to beat. 4.9 seconds faster. Wasn't a ball on the ground, must be an optical illusion from where I'm sitting high up above the camera angle. 159.21, 159.21. So already Bram has guaranteed himself a place in this evening's drive-off. These super horses working so well as a unit. Keen, obedient, willing. These Hungarian horses, Lipizan, is so popular with our indoor specialist drivers. They're compact, they're powerful. They don't have quite the same length of leg and back that you'll see on a lot of the warm blood horses that are being used. Now you will hear the crowd really getting behind this driver. This is Jérôme Boutaz, who is representing our host nation of Switzerland. And this is a gentleman who has been on a podium. He was once a silver medalist in a World Cup final, and he is always very fast. Jérôme Boutaz driving his Franche-Montagne. Horses, 2 mares and 2 geldings. He's actually got 2 6-year-olds in here, 2 relatively young horses to be competing on this international stage. And the crowd are really so supportive. We've seen it with the home show jumpers as well. They get extra special energy from everybody who's cheering them on. 4 to add in number 5 for Jérôme Boutaz. 3 of these 4 horses are used in his outdoor team as well. Laura de Genesi, Leon Non-Stop du Paddock, and Nora de la Pearl. Last 2 are 6, so we've got a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old in there as well. Interestingly, if the horses come from the German-speaking side of it, they're known as Freiburgers, and for the French-speaking side of the Franche-Montagne. As a fact, we learned being here in Switzerland. 4 to add so far, good on time, as we would expect from the Flying Swissman, always good on time. And these are quite short-coupled, powerful horses again. To number 10. And look, tight lines. You can see from some of the other lines how wide the swing was on that one. 8 to be added so far. Last few gates in the obstacles were where Johan introduced a few more choices for them. Out through F there was the option of snaking round, and the crowd are really, really enjoying having Jérôme Boutaz in the Palexpo Arena. Oh, that was close. 12 to add, but that ball just stayed on top through this clever cone design from Johan Jacobs in his garage one weekend, working out what the opening is on the top. Now that's 12 seconds down on our leader. We'll just get confirmation, but there's actually a hole at the top those balls sit in. So designed on these particular cones, so the ball either definitely sits on top or it doesn't. So confirmation, time was very good, 159.23, as we would expect. So really neck and neck with Bram on time. Bram's time was 159.21. Jérôme, 159.23. That's how close they were on time. Jérôme had particularly tight lines, but with those tight lines, then came the additional 12.3 knock to add. Last year in this glorious Christmas-themed arena, the Christmas trees were all pink, but this year we've gone for different blues, sky blues and cobalt blues. And these glorious decorations are carried on throughout the whole shopping area and all that's going on beyond what we bring you here on the screen. Now we have for Belgium, Dries de Greek driving Big Star, Hunter, Caneby and Leon. We had another Leon in the last team, so we've had 2 Leons. And Dries actually had a great start to the season. There was a pre-season event in Friesland that quite a few of these drivers took advantage of competing in, and he was the one that won that. He had a very good opener in Lyon. He was one of the first out, where he ended up in 3rd place. So he did have a podium finish at at the opening season, is very fast and drives these ground-covering Dutch warm bloods. And the day job, when he's not driving and training horses, he's also a farrier, which is extremely handy when you drive teams of horses, because not only have you got the 4 horses here, that's 16 feet that need to be shod and kept in great condition. No foot, no horse is the saying. So if you can do your own shoeing, that is just brilliant, very sensible. So 6, that ox are cutting up through number 5 again to get the line. It's an L shape coming from 6 to get to 7, the water. Crowd loving the splash of the water. Swinging round on 8. All done on these angles just to ensure that the rhythm and the pace is kept at optimum time. It's a balance. So much responsibility for the course builder to ask the right questions at this International World Cup level. Dries has got Anna, his girlfriend, on the back, and Frederick, his brother-in-law. So as we often find in driving, very much a family affair. And F already 4 to add, but time's looking pretty good. He's up there. Where's your money on our 3 drive-ons? Bram is there. Koos is there. Will it be Dries as well? We will know any second now. 15. He is out in, oh gosh, it's close. 163. Little bit down on the clock, but it was still a very good time. So 159.59. 4 to add, so a jolly good round for him. That pops him into second place. So he's just nudged ahead of Koos de Ronde.
163.59 seconds for Dries de Ronde.
Jerome Voet has those 12 expensive points. His time was very good. He was so nearly in it. But confirmation, Bram Chardon, 159.21. Don't forget, Jerome Voet was only 0.02 of a second behind him, but had those knocks. In second place, we've just watched Dries go round for Belgium, being trained by Boyd Excel. A lot of wisdom going in there. 4 to add, 163.59, and then Koos. So little between second and third place. Koos de Ronde, 164.16. So tight. That was predicted between these top drivers. Very little between them. Competition 1. Confirmation on your screens there. Bram Chardon, 159.21. Dries de Greek, 163.59. And Koos de Ronde, 164.16. Very little again between 5th and 6th place there for Anthony and Stein. So we will see them all back again tomorrow, but for the time being, we'll just have a little bit of a break as welcomed in the tractors. And the German team there having a look and a chat. The wonderful lights here at the Pel Expo Arena. We are in Geneva, confirmation of our drive-off start. This competition 1, leg 5 of a course de ronde, only just behind in time and penalties. Dries de Griek, the Belgian, and Bram Chardon, the only one of our 6 drivers this evening to go through without adding anything to his time of 159.21. For this drive-off competition 1, if you've been following the sequence through our 2 obstacles, the E-gates are being dropped. So we would expect the times to be substantially faster, 4 or 5 seconds in reality. Each round will get proportionately faster, but don't forget they'll have those slightly tighter lines. They can go from D to F now. So we've dropped E. They don't get the chance to walk it again, so it all has to be done from memory. And when you are under pressure, there's an awful lot to be thinking about. Those 4 horses in front of you, about 7 meters in length to navigate. Course de ronde, Wife Marie on the back there. One of driving's most successful and garlanded of the present generation of drivers. Course de ronde. And on he goes. He really gains on time here. He will be putting his foot down, guaranteed of a podium place in the drive-off. And we start. He and Dries had a ball to add each. A loop round to B, changes of rein. The first half of this section is all sweeping around on the right rein, and it's only once you come into number 5 do you start asking for those left turns as well. And that's part of the skill. There's barely time to straighten the horses, but you have these points of articulation and out very quickly. Don't forget, 1 less gate to get through. So 6 up through, nothing to add so far. This L shape from 6 through the 2 obstacles, and look at that time. Keep a note for when the next 2 come through. Good rhythm here from Koos. This is a course that asks questions. It's not just about fast running. It's about balance. Now he's wider on those lines. You might remember, certainly Jerome Boutaz in particular was very tight around that A gate, the concentration. Each of these horses knowing their names. Forward. Oh, lovely turn there. They just fell into sequence on their canter strides. Always good to see from those leaders. Bowling along beautifully. That probably feels lovely in the hand as the driver. Combining power with impulsion. But they have to listen. The margins are so fine on these turns. And the clock stops. 4 to add. 140, 144.32. 144.32. But take a note of that time, 140 was the time. So let's see where our next two, Dries and Bram, come with that. This surface, as Johan said earlier, absolutely perfect for the drivers. It's quite compact, mainly silica sand. And so the carriage wheels don't get stuck too much in the grooves or the lines from previous competitors. And there we have it, kiss and cry area. Always so interesting watching the body language of the athletes as they line up there, wherever they may be, whatever a round of jumping or dressage or driving they've had. Dries de Greek now, he was our second place driver after the first round. No points will be awarded towards those coveted 6 slots in Bordeaux's final. And Johan, we can tell you hot off the press, will probably be back in Bordeaux. But absolutely loves designing these courses, puts so much thought into it. Dries de Greek with his girlfriend Anna and brother-in-law Frederick on the back, keeping it in the family. Great camera angles from the team, close-ups there. Oh, the concentration. And out through F. Up on time, he's already fast. And at the moment, no balls to add for Dries de Greek. With his 4 KWPNs, these Dutch warm bloods. And they really do stride. They eat up the ground. Quite a modern type in terms of their conformation. They have these quite shallow rib cages. A lot of the modern sports horses have it. But a lot of the power comes from the quarters and from behind. So that's what you want. The eye goes to the front legs, but it's the power from behind. And if these horses are really striding forward over tracking, that's what you want in your driving horses, because it means they will be up on the clock. 4 to add so far, but his time is looking very impressive for Dries de Greek for Belgium. These horses in their marathon gear and the breast collars, spinning round on the left rein through the speed box. Clear out of that, it's asked. No difficult questions this evening in Geneva. 4 to add at the moment for Dries de Greek, and pulls out in a very good time, 2.55 faster, 2.55 up on the clock, like Koos had 4 to add. And he goes in front, a total of 141.77 confirmation there for you on your screens. His time was 137.77. And breathe. Quick look down there, just allowing the reins out. So it's as much about allowing on the outside rein to encourage those horses to come round on these turns, and leaping in there, that's quite impressive. What a sight. 1 more to go. Bram Chardon for the Netherlands, current European outdoor champion, has on 2 occasions before now been the FEI Driving World Cup champion, and quite a long road to travel before the series ends in Bordeaux, 6 of our drivers from the 10 qualified will be eligible to go. The host nation, France, can obviously invite their wildcard entries. Bram sticking with the same 4 that he's had out in Maastricht and in Stockholm. Always so interesting if you get the chance to look at the biographies of these horses. Some purely indoors, some have travelled through the hands of some of our very best known drivers. Some have been in the same yard for many years and many seasons. They have their own biographies and stories to tell, these top equine athletes. At this stage, years of training to get them to this point. Bram spoke about the importance of doing the dressage training, keeping them particularly supple, and that's why he can be so effective on his type lines, whichever rein they're going on. Concentration there from Bram. Big loop there. That was a big left loop from him. And through F, look at this time. 50 out. 6 the Oxer, then he will loop back up through the L. And 4 to add on the clock for Bram. So all of them will have a few more seconds to add on these penalties. 8, past the halfway point. This course length is about 850 metres. That is the length of the course. In Lyon, by contrast, the course was just over a kilometre, 128 metres approximately. So that's the distances these horses are covering at a sprint. Out through D. Now he will go straight to F from here, so on the left rein, looping round there, the left F gate, and he's out. 109, 10. Speed box tends to be about 11 by 12 metres, and great camera angle there. Splashing through the water. Out through 15, and we have, gosh, so close on time. Only 1.17 faster. What a tight competition. But ultimately, that's enough for a win, 141.60. But my goodness, Dries, 141.77. Tremendous contest there between Bram and Dries. That's made them smile. It's not all going to go the way of our existing champions. We have some really impressive pretenders to the throne this season. Don't forget how brilliant Michael Brockler was last week as well. Great contest.
C'est bien sûr la mascotte du concours épique international de Genève. Et voyez-vous, il est en train d'essayer aussi, lui, de s'essayer au marathon. On espère juste qu'il ne va pas tomber. Dax, tu as aussi besoin d'encouragement, c'est ça? Bon, je crois qu'il faut encourager Dax pour les autres âges.
Confirmation there of the results. Competition 1, leg 5. Bram Chardon, 141.60. Look at those margins. Dries de Greek, 141.77. Tremendous rounds from him. Cousteronde, 144.32. But those times on those drives are very, very close. In 4th place for Switzerland, Jérôme Voutaz. Anthony Old, our wild card, in 5th, and 6th, Jörg von Steen. So no sooner do these arenas go up then they have to come down. And we have our lovely mascot here.
Ça commence à prendre gentiment, Lex.
Try to catch me howling at the moon. 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 When it rains, it pours. Water's up to my chin. Won't stop fighting to the very end. Many men try to reach it. Many men have failed. Well, if you wanna get to heaven, you gotta raise a little hell. And I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They say no to sleepless nights.
So we're just clearing the arena after an absolutely brilliant competition one in Geneva in the Pal Expo Arena. We are very near Geneva Airport. Ever you fancy dropping in and watching and being caught up in the vibe, the electricity, the sound of the crowds. They really are as important a part of these competitions as the horses and the athletes themselves. Great sport tonight, very, very close our results. And look at those incredible horses. Such wisdom and poise. They can go round these courses so brilliantly, and out they come. Oh, Bram just jumping off, having a quick adjustment there. They quite often swap in a different horse here. There's one of them, perhaps a youngster, you can tell they're with the greys. They're a little bit more steely grey, or iron grey as we say, if they're a bit younger. There's Jan de Veer, who's the chief steward for Belgium. Don't forget that there's a huge show in terms of people and volunteers and officials. Then our judges, Anne-Marie Turbe is our senior judge, president of the grand jury this weekend in Geneva. Johan Jacobs, our course designer, and Jan de Veer, the chief steward. So good chat there, relaxed and smiling Bram, as you would expect. He's done his job. 4 to add, the ball rolled, but 0.13, that's all there was between first and second, but ultimately that now becomes a technicality. World Cup driving has been an important part of the show here in Geneva for many years. We are in our 62nd edition of the show itself, but driving on the World Cup circuit has been here since 2002. So if we drop the year where we had the pandemic, this is the 20th time of the driving in Geneva. The 5th leg, we are over the halfway point now. Next week we will be in London, and the light show come on. The lights start. The atmosphere is incredible. It's so theatrical. Spot the Dutch flag just poised there to be raised for the prize giving. Geneva 2023. Here we are, Saturday evening, but it could be very late at night or early in the morning, wherever you are joining us. And thank you so much for watching some great horse sport this evening.
Cérémonie de remise des prix de cette épreuve présentée par l'Institut international de Lancy. Épreuve d'ouverture de la FEI Driving World Cup 2023. 5e des 8 étapes que compte ce circuit 2023-2024 qui se tiendra demain en milieu de journée. On attend bien sûr l'ouverture du rideau et nos 3 meneurs qui ont participé au barrage. Du beau sport, on a vibré bien sûr avec les meneurs qui prennent tant de risques. Ils sont précis. Allez, le rideau s'ouvre. Vos applaudissements pour les lauréats. Avec bien sûr pour commencer le tenant du titre de cette épreuve, mais tenant du titre également dans l'étape Coupe du Monde du dimanche. 2 fois victorieux ces dernières années bien sûr, avec les couleurs des Pays-Bas et avec Corvazano, Mara, Drift, Kabiti, Favori, Farao et Kendi Bram Chardon. Leader incontesté de ces 3 dernières éditions.
There we go, the camera from the back there. Great angle. Yeah, a bit more of an idea of it's probably exactly
Il est
the angle
suivi à la
Leanne is
2e
seeing
place pour les couleurs de la Belgique par Driss de Griek.
Gives you an idea of the length, the overall length. So the
Et on retrouve bien sûr
what
au
these
3e rang
drivers
les
are
couleurs des Pays-Bas une nouvelle
navigating
fois
and negotiating in
avec
terms of the
Koos
twists and
de
turns. Not for the faint-hearted. And Dries, great result for him. 2nd place, so this will dictate the running order tomorrow. And coming into 3rd position, Koos de Ronde. Good competition for him.
Bien sûr, une nouvelle fois du grand sport, de la précision que nous ont montré ces meneurs dans cette épreuve d'ouverture FEI Driving World Cup, présentée par l'Institut international de Lancy, représenté par sa directrice générale, Madame Monique Rouanet, accompagnée du directeur sportif du concours hippique international de Genève, Monsieur Alban Poudré, ainsi que Monsieur Arnaud Lehmann, en sa qualité de responsable de l'attelage au comité d'organisation de cette 62e édition. On va bien sûr vous demander, pour commencer, un tonnerre d'applaudissements pour celui qui s'impose une nouvelle fois dans cette épreuve. The winner for Netherlands, Bram Chardon.
2 weekends in a row for Bram on good form, but don't forget it is all about tomorrow night. Well, tomorrow lunchtime.
Découvrir pour l'hymne des Pays-Bas.
Early lunchtime, we will be tuning in.
Vos félicitations pour le vainqueur de cette épreuve, Bram Chardon, qui va donc être félicité par Madame Monique Rouanet, directrice générale de l'Institut international de Lancy, qui fête ses 120 ans en école privée, innovante et bilingue. qui accueille des enfants de 3 à 19 ans. Elle est bien sûr accompagnée de Monsieur Allemand-Foudret pour sa qualité de directeur sportif du concours hippique international de Genève. Les félicitations aussi d'Arnaud Lehmann, responsable de l'attelage pour le comité du concours. Incroyable, hein, le meneur néerlandais qui va peut-être réaliser demain la passe de 3. C'est tout ce qu'on peut lui souhaiter. Toujours rapide, précis dans ses parcours. Les photos souvenirs avec les officiels de cette cérémonie de remise des prix. On continue, vraiment pas passé loin de s'imposer cette année dans cette épreuve d'ouverture avec 141 secondes et 77 centièmes, 17 de plus que Bram Chardon. La deuxième place, Dries de Griek. Big Star, Hunter, Kane
Great result
et Léon,
for
les 4 montures
the
attelées
28-year-old
pour cet
Belgian
attelage.
in his third season. Getting
Allez, encore
better
une fois
and
du bruit,
better
Dries de
each
Griek,
year.
deuxième.
But the qualification points all to play for tomorrow. But it's as much
On a
mind games
ouvert
as about
cette
everything else,
distribution des prix
and
par les couleurs des
that's
Pays-Bas.
a
Et bien on va
great
la clôturer avec la
confidence
troisième
boost
place, lui
in
aussi,
terms of what's going
du
to
barrage.
happen
Il s'est bien
tomorrow.
défendu avec Maestro Zenta, Edgar, Thilo de Cajou et
Kusterand
Gibré
in third place.
Kusterand. Et on va bien évidemment une nouvelle fois remercier Madame Monique Rouanet, directrice générale de l'Institut international de Nancy, partenaire de cette épreuve d'ouverture de la FEI Driving World Cup qui se tiendra demain aux alentours de 11h, 5e des 8 étapes du circuit organisé depuis 2001. Un grand bravo à l'ensemble des lauréats. Merci également bien sûr pour le comité d'organisation, Monsieur Allemand-Poudret, directeur sportif, et Arnaud Lehmann en charge de l'attelage. La piste est donc libre pour le tour d'honneur emmené par Bram Chardon. Sous vos applaudissements, c'est parti, Genève. Allez, c'est toujours spectaculaire, les tours d'honneur des atteleurs. Mais pour ça, ils ont besoin du bruit de Genève, de vos applaudissements en rythme avec la musique.
We're just rounding off our driving World Cup Competition 1, Leg 5, Geneva.
Déjà victorieux l'an
But
passé,
don't forget,
il remet
we have
ça
another
dans cette
competition to
épreuve
come
d'ouverture.
tomorrow, 11:30 local time, Central European time
Le rang
on
2
Sunday,
avec la Belgique et Dries de Griek.
and a very close
Troisième
competition.
et accompagné de la mascotte d'Ag,
141.60 to Bram and 141.77 to Dries. Koos in third on 144.32. Not forgetting in fourth place, Jérôme Boutaz for Switzerland. In fifth, Anthony for France, our wild card guest entry. And in sixth, not much between fifth and sixth, Georg von Stein for Germany. Anthony was on 180.50 and Georg on 181.46.
Hélas, ces meneurs des funambules avec leurs grooms également qui font un magnifique travail.
Very stately procession around this big arena.
On se
95
prépare bien sûr avec
meters
le
by
carrousel
55. Those are the
et à la
dimensions.
sortie.
One of the very
Blower.
biggest on the circuit. And round they go in their showboat. We'll bring you those pictures. Yes, there we go.
On les
Nose
retrouve
to
bien sûr
tail.
demain dans l'étape Coupe du Monde. Ils vont nous assurer une nouvelle fois un très beau spectacle. Allez, une nouvelle fois, les 3 lauréats de cette épreuve aux couleurs de l'Institut international de Nancy.
Who seems to have gained a mascot on the back there. Quick word amongst the drivers once they work out what they're going to do. They do get very close to each other.
La sortie pour commencer du 3e avec Dax Cousson.
And out goes Koos.
On lâche les chevaux
Hold on
maintenant avec
tight.
deuxième la Belgique, Dries de Griek.
And we bid farewell to Dries. Great evening for the Belgian, replicating the good form he showed in Lyon. And our winner tonight, Bram Chardon. Out he goes. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you very much to my colleagues at FEI TV and the technical team that have brought us this great coverage. We've had some beautiful imagery. We will be back tomorrow, Sunday, at 11:30 local time. Do take care and don't forget to tune in then. Over and out. Have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
Avec la grande chasse, le prix du Rhône, qui sera bien sûr suivi de la cérémonie pour fêter les 10 ans du Rolex Grand Slam of Show Jumping et pour célébrer la médaille d'or en individuel aux Européens de Milan de Steve Gerda.